If you've been needing a little more mystery in date night, I'm going to show you how I made this date night scratch off card. The scratch off actually works. Also, if you're not into Valentine's Day or date nights, this would be easy to modify into a DIY self-care card. The first thing we're going to need for this is some cardstock or something to print this on. I have a PDF download with a bunch of different options, so you make a bunch of these so that you make them all at once, and then once you apply the process that we're going to do, it'll cover up all the options so you can shuffle them up, and then when you actually do go to scratch it, it'll be a mystery. The first thing we need to do is create a barrier that's going to keep our options visible once we remove the top layers. I tested a bunch of different methods for this. The best one I found was to use a soft wax, something like this soy candle. I think the one I used was from IKEA. You want to put a nice layer of that wax over the entire area that you want to become the scratch off part. After that, you want to grab some craft acrylic paint. Cheap craft acrylic paint. Specifically, we want the stuff that's going to be a little chalky. If you try to use a nicer acrylic paint that's more glossy, it does not work as well as craft paint. You're going to put a nice layer of that down on top of the wax, and we're going to let that dry. Don't try to make this dry. We don't want to melt the wax below. You might have noticed this is a little bit shiny, and our final step is to add some of this metallic paint. And the one that works the best to create the most satisfying scratch off is this liquid leaf. We want to use a very thin layer of this on top of the craft paint. We want to let that dry fully, maybe even overnight. At the very end, you've made your very own scratch-off card that's going to reveal a secret message, or in this case, the date night activity. I've got 4 hearts, which means that Nick and I are going to be learning to make a new cocktail or mocktail. I find scratching this so satisfying.